Let's take a quick look at some pure nostalgia bait. This is a mashup slash crossover of Skeletor and the Demogorgon from Stranger Things. And I picked this up ever so slightly begrudgingly because, and I've said this in other videos, I am such a sucker for this kind of stuff. Anything Masters of the Universe I'm going to be drawn towards, and Stranger Things was a show I loved, and honestly I still can't tell how much of that is because of the nostalgia factor of the show trying so hard to be something from something that I would have connected with back in the like the early to mid 80s. So I guess I'm not really surprised that these two things are thrown together and enough people are going to buy them. It's very rare that I come across a mashup or a crossover of properties from the 80s or properties from today that are meant to appeal to the kids of the 80s and 90s that I can resist. So, you know, this guy was on a shelf that I walked by today in a store, so now he's here in my basement. I'm not super crazy about getting another Skeletor, one that seems kind of muted and kind of boring, but I will admit that I kind of feel like the Demogorgon lends itself beautifully to a MOTU style figure. So purchasing this is really like 90% because of him. And I don't save boxes typically, but this is a fairly nice one. I like the upside down kind of motif worked into the box. And that's a cool picture of the two of them there. Upside down Eternia. Okay. And they went all the way with that upside down theme with the box art here. All right, let's get these guys out. Yeah, and as I expected, this guy is the reason to get this set. So actually, let's get him out of the way, and we'll start with this version of Skeletor, which, to the best of my eyesight, is our Origins Skeletor. I'm pretty sure it's exactly the same figure. It's just a different color scheme. The blue is a more like periwinkle, kind of sad blue, and the armor is almost like a gray blue with a little bit of a metallic finish, which is nice. I'll admit it's a little bit nicer than I expected it to be when I was looking at it through the window of the box, but it's still a really, really basic Skeletor. I'm assuming they went with this color scheme to make it a little bit more, I don't know, seems like it goes with sort of the color schemes of the Upside Down. I'm reaching here, but you also get a sword with him, but I am gonna keep him holding his Havoc staff, which in any color, I love that. And on to the Demogorgon, who is a real pain in the ass to stand, especially with holding his weapon. Let's get that out first. The weapon is so nice. These flame effect pieces do just hinge on, you can remove them. And I love the ends of this being like a multi-faced dice or die. I always forget which one is the plural, like you're playing the Dungeons and Dragons board game. And the Demogorgon here is mostly Beastman, I think. Obviously with his own color scheme. The articulation is your Origins articulation. The head mold is its own thing, and it's a softer plastic, which I appreciate. So you can sort of get a little bit of movement because it is a ball jointed head, but if this wasn't able to move, if this wasn't as malleable as it is, you would get no range of motion in the neck. But that is so cool. And as I said, I really feel like the Demogorgon lends himself perfectly to being a Masters of the Universe monster henchman of Skeletor. So this is pretty fitting. I am, of course, looking for reasons to convince myself to keep buying for this crossover. Who am I kidding? Even if I don't come up with a reason, I'll still probably pick them up. And that is just a quick look at the newish Stranger Things Masters of the Universe crossover, or mashup rather, with Demogorgon and Skeletor. The latest piece of nostalgia bait to make it into my collection.